Welcome back, everyone. These days we live and die by our emails. You don't want to be making any mistakes, especially if it's going out to a very important person. Diane Gottsman, very important person right here on Good Day Austin, our etiquette expert. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Very important topic, right?
Absolutely, because it can kill you. One letter, one word, one phrase, anything.
And we've all done it. So we are all guilty, but not on purpose. That's why this is so important.
So what are the top 10 email mistakes that we make?
Well, the first thing that we should do is, Amanda, when we are going back and forth with emails, I may email you with one topic, which is the subject line. But 4 or 5, 6 emails down the road, we're talking about something else. So make sure that the subject line is consistent with the content. That way, if I go back and I want to follow, if I want to search very quickly the topic that we're talking about, it's on the subject line versus having to read all the emails to figure out what we're talking about.
So do we continue with that one thread of that topic, or do I start a brand new fresh email? I mean, I think some people have a different approach on this.
And the answer is you can start a new email. You know, I like to start new emails because I like everything clean, you know, when I read it. But if we start a different topic, I'm going to change the subject line. So in other words, if I say update on the Smith project, which is the topic, the subject line, and then the email is, hey, make sure to be at the office birthday party at 4 o'clock in the office kitchen. You know, the subject line and the content should match.
They should match. Number 2, use an appropriate greeting.
The greeting should mirror the relationship with the person you're sending it to. So if you are emailing a client and you call them Jim, you don't want to start out your email with Dear Mr. Smith because it's off-putting. It feels impersonal. So by the same token, if you are emailing somebody brand new, you don't want to say, hey, Amanda, how's it going?
A prospective client or maybe even a potential new employer that could be a job interview, something like that.
Always
really think
err
about
on the
it.
side of caution. Use an honorific if you don't know them. But if you do know them and you call them by their first name when you see them, make sure you're calling them by their first name when you write to them.
Number 3, you say get to the point.
Rambling on and on and on, we miss the content. So just remember this, the lower down the email you go, the less likely it's going to get read. So you want to make sure and write out bullet points. That's a great way. You know, if I have 3 things I want you to know or I want to talk to you about, I'm going to say, hello, Amanda, how are you? And then bang, I start into my points. I don't say it's a great day. I hope you had a good, you know, how was your weekend? So you want to get to the point right away.
Right, we're not catching up. We're getting to business. Number 4, reply all with caution.
So annoying. Reply alls are very frustrating because if you are emailing a group and everyone is responding back reply all with great idea, sounds good, I'll bring the snacks, you know, whatever it is, you want to just respond to the person that it applies to as the response.
Right, because some people don't appreciate the thread or they just don't want to be part of that conversation. They may not have time for it. It just,
and if
everybody's
you are
different.
On that thread and you want to be off the thread, you can say, please remove me from this.
Right.
You know, just be upfront in a kind way.
Absolutely, not off-putting. Number 5, you say give the email your attention. What do you mean by that?
That means that if I'm sending, let's say I've sent 3 or 4 bullets, or I've sent a couple of topics that I'm addressing, if I don't respond back to you with an answer, if I read the first one, so here's what I mean about give it the attention it needs. Make sure you read it through. But as the follow-up, make sure if you respond to say, listen, I am interested in talking to you more about this topic. However, I can't really give much attention to this second. I will follow up at another time. So don't just leave them hanging so they're wondering, okay, that answered my first question, but what about part B?
Right, did he or she really get to the whole email? Which, again, I mean, might go back to the bullet points issue. Just make it concise and precise for people to read. You know, I'm a little guilty of number 6, over exclamation points, happy faces. I can't help it. I get a little excited.
I know. I'm with you. I have an exclamation point issue.
It's like double exclamation points for me.
So we just have to think about who we're writing to. Again, if we're writing to each other and we're kind of exclamation happy, we wouldn't notice. But if you're writing to a client that does notice, or if you're writing to someone that doesn't know your tone, you have to make sure that it's very clean, concise, professional.
Let's get through the last 4 here. Number 7 is always double check before hitting send. Number 8, deliver bad news privately.
Don't break up with someone, don't fire someone, don't reprimand someone by an email. you need to talk to them. You can follow up professionally. You can follow up with an email, but you need to tell them in person.
And even if you're not the boss, if you're just another employee, oh, did you hear about such and such? And especially if it's really bad news, maybe go and talk to them in person.
Yes, and anything you put on that email, you have to know that it can be forwarded on to someone else. So there is no such thing as privacy in an email.
Number 9, I think, is pretty important. Close with a professional signature line.
Yes. So you want to close with some kind of sincerely, best, yours truly sounds a little bit dated, but something that is friendly and professional.
Best regards or kind regards.
Kind regards.
Something like that. Something polite, something that shows you have manners.
And make sure that your signature line has all the information so they can find you. They can find you on social media, they can find you by email, they can find you by telephone.
Almost like a business card.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Last but not least, spell check,
and spell check. And we know it. We've said it, but we don't do it. I have to think twice sometimes. I'm about to hit send and did I spell check? So,
did I do there the right way?
Yes.
E-I-I-E.
And sometimes spell check, you're spell checking, but it's the wrong word. You misspelled it completely. So it's spell checking correctly. It's just not the right word. So reread your email before you hit send.
Oh, that's such an important point. Diane Gottsman, as always, we appreciate having you here and hope that some of you at home may have gotten a little bit of help.